Slash r subreddit I want to learn. I want to learn how to speak quieter. Everyone comments about how my voice is insanely loud, even though to me it's normal. I want to speak quieter and not loud. Not that this is a solution, but have you tried speaking to others in what they consider a normal tone and have it sound too quiet to you? For a long time, my mom was the same way and eventually went to a doctor who said she had fluid built up in her ears, distorting her hearing, slash causing hearing loss, so she spoke overly loud to compensate. Possibly something to consider if you can't contribute it to something else. This first thing to check is hearing loss. Have you tried whispering and then slowly increasing your voice until they find an acceptable one? No, but I have just tried speaking more quietly. But I've discovered that it sounds really seductive. I don't intend for it or to happen, but it just does. Maybe try going to quieter settings like a coffee shop or even a library to, in a way, learn to develop a softer tone. This is an answer from Pumpkin Patch 6 from 4 years ago. I feel ya, my voice is booming and carries easily no matter what I do. And then if I get excited or passionate or enthusiastic about something, I get embarrassingly loud. But I don't really notice it unless someone mentions it. I even whisper loud, but it cannot be stopped. Me too. Works in my favor sometimes as I work in a call center. On the downside, I work till 11 and after 9 we are pretty empty, and if I talk too loud, the whole call center can hear me. Also, totally feel you about getting excited about something. I wish more allow people were considerate and aware of it like you. Can't help you though, I'm quiet as fuck, which is also a problem for you. FYI, good luck. Bro, I want to learn how to speak louder, cause when I speak, I don't have enough self-esteem to talk loud, so people can hear me, and I don't have enough courage saying it again. I think I would be happy having what you have even if it annoys one person or two. Do you happen to run a lawnmower or listen to loud music? Getting your hearing checked might be worth a shot, as what sounds normal to you may be louder to others. I actually have the opposite problem. What sounds normal to me is actually very quiet to others, and I'm assuming my hearing is just really sensitive, as I do tend to get bothered by noises that others don't hear, such as CRT monitors that make a high squealing sound when turned on. I want to learn how to speak more clearly and confidently. Social skills. Subreddit I want to learn. By you, help me life sucks, please. 3 years ago. Hey guys, over the past few years of dealing with depression and anxiety, I feel like my ability to talk has declined. From pausing mid-sentence to remember a simple word to stumbling/stuttering and not being able to enunciate my words clearly. It physically feels like I have to try harder than I should to speak. Like my lips or tongue tend to sense up, making it hard to speak, especially when I'm not in a great mental state. I'm hyper aware of how I'm speaking when in conversation, which also adds to the awkwardness of my speech. I also have a really bad habit of nervously laughing at everything. I've had multiple people even ask me why I'm laughing. It's become an awful habit. I'm wondering if anybody has had these kinds of issues and any resources they can recommend. My main goal is to speak fluidly, and any exercises I can do to help with the tightness of my lips or tongue. Thanks in advance. First, take courage from your audience. They want you to succeed. Use that energy. Second, know your topic. Practice recording yourself on your phone. When you play it back, what seems odd? You speak too quickly? Most people do, so slow down. Does your voice go high and quiet? That's nerves. Unclench your jaw. Relax your shoulders and let your hands be loose. Stand up straight and let your syllables ring out. Make sure you enunciate clearly. Use inflection, including pauses for effect when necessary. Show your own interest in your topic. Let your face show your enthusiasm or sorrow or whatever the topic requires. No flat faces or flat voices. Fake the confidence, but if you learn these skills, you have the actual confidence. Do tongue twisters and read out loud to practice improving your speaking. Also try doing these exercises in epic movie intro voice, opening your mouth way more than necessary. Unique New York. I think the best way to improve your speech is spontaneous practice. I suggest you talk to random people on Omegle. It will help you build your confidence, and conversing will also improve your speech. For enunciation practice, moving your mouth more dramatically when you speak. Do it alone because it don't sound very natural and will look silly. This practice is training your facial muscles to get stronger and hit those sounds better. Record yourself every so often too, so you can track your progress too over time. Also, if you don't believe, try to talk without moving your mouth at all, and you'll be able to hear a big difference between the two. Mine's more of a not knowing what to say. I run out of things to say or can't even remember the simplest word to complete my sentences. I really think it's the anxiety that makes us this way, and maybe the fear of saying the wrong thing or people judging us. I think first thing is to get over that, and this is definitely something I've been trying to work on for a very long time. COVID doesn't make it any easier for us to practice spontaneous conversations. I thought that I was the only one who was super aware of what they were saying and would stop mid-sentence just because I really hear what I'm trying to say, to the point that it distracts me from what I'm trying to say. And in turn, it makes me self-conscious of speech and also makes me not want to speak at all to anyone. Would stop mid-sentence just because I really hear what I'm saying, to the point it distracts me from what I'm trying to say. I've done this too, and sometimes I'll even lose interest in my own point, which has me trail off and cut what I wanted to say into an even shorter statement. Read aloud, preferably books. Books will help your spelling, your grammar, your writing, enunciation, and your knowledge base. Thus, it's interesting and fun. I think therapy might help. It's not as much as a logopedic problem, but maybe a mental one. If you find your inner confidence and do a little work with your issues, your speech may improve without even realizing it. I started to pause mid-sentence and stutter after I had an emotional trauma in an abusive relationship. Since I don't have all your context, I don't know how superficial my advice may be. I don't know if you can afford therapy or the cultural context or so on. But after my first appointment, my therapist explained to me the balance between depression and anxiety and how they affected even my posture and my voice and how tense I was. Maybe learning some coping mechanisms would help in the long term. Bullshit! Everything I read you posted is bullshit, and you are a liar, and here's why. You already pointed out your weaknesses. Do you know how many people out there can even see that? Men and women, both. They blame other people instead of themselves. You identified your weakness, and that's a fucking strength. Self-reflection is freaking hard. If you have to talk, look at the people's foreheads and not their eyes. They won't know the differences. Think about what you are passionate about, but then channel those feelings into what you need to present. You might like Pokemon, stocks, history, or whatever, but have to present why X matters to Z. But if in your mind's eye You are talking about your passion, you kill it. You got this. Edit some shit. I am in the same position. Thanks for bringing this up, Obi. It makes me feel less alone. It's always so hard for me to get words out clearly, and I thought I was the only one. So this is one more advice from Spora Bolick 3 years ago. Talk out loud to yourself more when you're alone. Choose a side of an issue and make a polite, respectful, and thoughtful argument. Then switch sides. Practice small talk. And engaging in a conversation is a dance. Really listen, don't just wait for your turn to speak. Show genuine interest. Ask thoughtful questions. Don't interrupt. So now you learned. Greetings. I tried to keep this brief. Thank you for your time. On r/self-improvement by Hugh Casrot 11 months ago. I want to start my life over. I am not happy with myself or life and I need help. I'm 26 and I work a boring job at a company I hate. If I didn't go to work, they wouldn't even notice. I spend most of my day in the bedroom looking at memes for maybe 6 hours of the 8-hour workday. When I was 24, I started fixing up a house which I now live in. It's close to the beach, but overall it's very small. So small I couldn't really live here with 2 people comfortably. I don't want to live alone forever. I'm not done fixing it up, but it's going to take too much money for what I think it's worth, so I'm losing interest. I don't like my job and I don't like where I live. When I was 19, I wanted to be a paramedic, but after I got my EMT, I realized how low they are paid for how much stress they take on. It didn't seem worth it. Which is why I work where I do. Originally, I thought the low-stress job was a godsend. Now, I see how horribly depressing factory life can be. I spend way too much time in my head. I constantly dissociated from reality. I live in my mind. I take brief visits to reality to focus on a task which is always accompanied with anxiety. Dissociated from reality is really bad. I don't exactly regret not being an EMT, but I regret listening to my anxiety. I feel as I've fallen through the cracks in self-development. I do not feel 26. I feel 21 plus 5 years. I have okay finances, but I'm still worried about not making enough money. It's all I cared about growing up and I still cared about it deeply. Major problems I keep ruminating. 1. I have no identity. Ever since high school, homeschooled, I just did what was easy and financially sound. I valued finances as I saw it was the key to respect and options with women. I convinced myself financial stability is number 1 trait in attracting a good woman. Relationship fantasies are my only real motivator. My interests are shaped around affordability. My car and house are essentially paid off, which is the only reason I like them. 2. I am horrible at making decisions for myself. So many people can just say, I want to, and this is a good enough reason. I made most of my decisions out of what I thought was a good idea. It is extraordinarily hard for me to make a decision at this point in life. I always distrusted a decision made from emotion. Now, all of my decisions seem to be based away from reason because I'm not happy. 3. Can I really change? God grants me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Can I be normal? I've been dissociated in my head since I was 13. The anxiety, how could I change years of conditioning? Where I'm at now is a reflection of my best thinking for the past 13 years. How do I know what I can change? Courage is knowing it might hurt and doing anyway. Stupidity is the same, and that's why life is hard. At this point, I'm considering joining the military, getting good physical shape, sell my house, leave my shitty company, start over entirely. I can get educated for free plus travel. Getting away from where I'm at now sounds like it really opened my view on life. It's what I would have done at 19, knowing what I know now and not listening to my anxiety. But of course I have responsibilities. I can't enjoy my life, which I really should be grateful for. I'm incapable of making my own decisions at this point. I feel as if I'm living way below my means due to my anxiety. I've had a couple great relationship experiences that I feel I'll never get again. I don't really like myself. Unless I start living for me, I'm scared I'll be alone forever. I don't know who I am. I'm too easily influenced by women and money. I have no backbone. I'll be turning 27 in 4 months. I don't know where to start. It sounds like a mix of depression and boredom made worse by your anxiety. Have you tried therapy, meds, or any type of self-help reading? As long as you are alive, you can take steps to change. You're still plenty young to figure out what direction you want to go with your life. Yes, I did. I enjoyed therapy, but meds didn't help. I didn't mention I had interest in joining the military. If I continue to talk to a therapist or take meds, I'm going to disqualified permanently. So this is another post by You Like Skin Taste Bud 1 year ago on subreddit Ask Old People. Did you ever have to start over in your life? What happened and what did you do to start over? I was 21 and had a good job, an apartment by myself, my own car. Then I met a psycho stalker in a bar who destroyed my world. Kept breaking into my apartment, kept showing up at work, did damage to my car. Lost the job, got evicted, and had to move back home. Back to square one. Totally demoralized and depressed because I never wanted to go back home where I was abused in the first place. Within 6 months, I got a job, moved into a rental house with a roommate, and got my act together again. And the cycle? They tried messing with someone much more aggressive than me and ended up dead. Bars are not the best place to meet people. I've always felt that life is spending years building things up, then they fall apart. Then you spend years building things up, then they fall apart. Then you spend years building things up, and on till, I guess, they fall apart. I walked down on a 20-year marriage with the clothes in my car and a restraining order. Literally. Moved 1,000 miles away. Stayed at an extended stay hotel for a month while I settled into a new job and figured out where everything in town was. Rented a townhouse and moved in with a blow-up mattress and a 9-inch color TV. 9-inch! My memory of that place was how peaceful it was even with nothing in it, and how easy it was to keep it clean. Fast forward 16 years, I'm happily remarried and our house has so much stuff in it. I'm ready to rent a dumpster and start tossing. I wouldn't change for a minute the decision I made that May morning to drive away. My biggest lesson in living was that the stuff doesn't matter. None of it. It is all replaceable. It is a wonderfully freeing feeling. I'm going through yet another start over now. Going through tons of young junk to get my house ready to sell. I need to get out of this house. It's been 20 years. Both my parents lived there until they passed, as did my soul. I look forward to a smaller, more manageable living space. A little place to garden is all I ask for. Oh yeah, I've had to do it several times, but the hardest was when I was 48 years old. My husband of 20 years came home one fine Wednesday and told me that he didn't know if he wanted to be married anymore. Good Lord, do you not still want dinner? I found out that he had an affair and he left me for her. I was devastated. It's painful to be cast aside for a younger model, but we had our dream home and we worked our asses off to make it wonderful. We had a camper trailer and we had been traveling. We had everything we ever wanted. We reached lots of goals. We had tons of albums of pictures and of so many fantastic memories. My family loved him to pieces. Everyone did. Gone. I knew I couldn't afford to keep my house. Still am, an online seller. I didn't make enough to keep a big house on my own. I couldn't keep our travel trailer for the same reason. I had to part with a lot of things because I couldn't fit them into the duplex I moved into. I didn't have the money on my own to get a divorce lawyer. Even if I wanted my husband to pay for it, I would have to petition for it after I paid for it myself. I couldn't do it. You don't get a free lawyer just for a divorce. Yes, I wrote and asked pro bono from attorneys. No one took me up on it. I went through a lot more than I feel like typing out. Just know that I did everything I possibly could. I was very good with the computer and knew how to research what I wanted to know. I would represent myself. Let me also mention, I'm a double amputee of both legs from the knees down. I walk on prosthesis, but I'm clearly not on a level playing ground as everyone else. I do have my limits, no matter how fiercely independent I am. It just puts me at a disadvantage in some areas. After 2 years of my husband being gone, we were ready for divorce. We were not at each other's throats. We were not fighting over everything. We had never had children together either. My husband's lawyer sent the bill of complaints, even though it was a no-fault divorce. I had 30 days to file my answer. I contacted every lawyer I could, and with that 1-hour free consultation, I picked their brains. I also talked to several paralegals. They all gave me great advice. I put together my answer, filed it with the clerk, and awaited my day in the divorce court. I wanted to keep things simple. I did not use adultery against him. I had my say in the complaint, too much to go into here, but I still kept it simple. We met in court that September 1st. I was dressed in my best two-piece suit that I made. I'm a tailor and make all my own clothes. I carried my briefcase and I was ready. Because I represented myself, I could talk to either my husband or his lawyer or both before court. My husband and I decided to negotiate, sans his lawyer. In court, the judge read my answer to the complaints and smiled at me. We did all the stuff we were supposed to do and say, when it was over, she complimented me from the bench and said she didn't think an attorney would have done better. My husband's now ex-husband. Lawyer reached out and shook my hand. Sorry guys. Today's it's a bit cold, so my voice is not really stable right now. But shall we continue? My husband, now ex-husband, lawyer, reached out and shook my hand, smiled, and said I missed my calling. My ex looked at me from behind his lawyer and was said he wishes he had hired me. We all laughed. We got everything I asked for. I knew I couldn't afford to keep my home, but I did get the following. Everything inside and outside the home. The house was to have repairs if needed, sold, and I was to get all the equity. Alimony was to begin the month after I moved out of our home. I was to receive all of his 400k within 30 days and he had to pay all taxes and penalties. Okay, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Oh my god, this post is actually long. Oh my god. Okay. I still sell online almost 21 years now and I'm more successful now than ever. My life not only got better, it's way better than it ever was with my ex. By the way, my ex is miserable. He married the woman he left me for. I'm still friends with my former brother-in-law. No one in their family likes her, and my ex is very unhappy. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but what goes around comes around. So, final post for today. We have been reading a lot. Yeah, okay. Just people talking detailed about how they start over in life. Starting over is what I call chapters. Every life has chapters. Some are more dramatic than others, but they all entail change. It's one of the few things in life that is for sure things will change. If you're asking about a total reset, I guess getting divorced, quitting your job, then moving to a different place is one scenario quite a few people can relate to. Okay, that's it for today. Hope it helps you guys. See ya in the next podcast. Have a good day.